special Connecticut community. My name's Shilpa, and I am here to tell you that my associates and I, from the electrical utility company that both generates your power and delivers your power, we have some news for you. Basically, we have a whole bunch of new technologies that you can take advantage right away, and they are going to help you get power even during the worst of storms. So, did you know that about 14.8% of all power outages occur due to wind and rain? What? I know, it's crazy. And 29.7% of all power outages are due to equipment failure? Also crazy. But do you also remember when we had such storms as Hurricane Sandy or Hurricane Irene back in 2011? Well, I know that most of you had your power taken away and it was really scary, but it doesn't have to happen anymore. But we do have a special guest that will be joining us momentarily so that he can tell us a little bit about his storm experience, because we don't want you to ever go through that again. We have a knock on the door. Let's see who it is. Oh, hi. Come on in. What's your name?
I'm Samuel.
Great. Well, I know that you've recently experienced a power outage. How did that make you feel?
Really upset. I was scared. It was dark. I was frightened. What can you do to help me out?
Well, first I have to ask you a couple of questions. Number one, how long was your power outage?
It felt like forever.
I'm sure
Don't
it did.
get me started.
Okay. I'm sure it did.
Cogeneration is where it's at. Cogeneration is not only it's nice and clean. So what happens in a normal power plant is it'll burn coal, which is really dirty and will put a lot of CO2 and sulfur into the atmosphere. But what a cogeneration plant does, we burn natural gas, which is a little cleaner. But what really gets going on is how we reuse and keep using the same energy. So what happens is when we burn the natural gas, it heats up the water, which in turn turns turbines which produces electricity. But what normally happens is most plants just get rid of that hot air, but we're smart. What we do, we will save this hot energy, and we'll save it into heat energy to warm places, like the building itself. That's smart. The other thing we'll do is we'll use the water, which cools off, and we'll use that for cooling in the facility. Another way to use it. Here's what's up about cogeneration. Cogeneration saves money, like I said before, and saves the environment, and it's reusable. Some bad things about it is that it's a high startup cost. You have to pay a good amount of money up front. But other things we can use about cogeneration is we can use it in many areas. Wonderful place we can look at is one of the best colleges in the world, University of Connecticut. There, they have our own cogeneration plant that not only provides electricity to our entire campus, but provides heat and cold water. Other places we can use cogeneration in the future, such places like hospitals and industries, to help save money and save them from blackouts.
Hi, my name is Sakti Ramesh and I'm from an electrical utility company. Do you hate it when your power goes out and your life gets put on hold? The instant fear that overwhelms you when you're thinking of the alternate ways to transform your life back to simplistic time? Scavenging for candles and blankets to bundle yourself in an attempt to stay warm as you can? Or running to Home Depot and desperately fighting for the last generator? Did you know that the average number of times per year that power supply to a customer is interrupted is a SAIDI of 240 and a SIFI of 1.5? Economic cost of power outages was about $7,795 per firm and a maximum of $1.5 million. Well, microgrids will take the pain away of these nor'easters. No more hassles of worrying about your power outages and no need for spending additional money to power up your house. Microgrids are basically digital demand management that juggles all the power generated from variable resources such as solar, wind, natural gas, and solar energy. The grid delivers electricity from where it's produced to where it is used via the local utility company substation. The entire network is called the grid. A power grid that incorporates microgrids would still have conventional centralized energy sources, but many more users would have local and source of energy. In addition, users can independently manage and distribute the power. Incorporating microgrids with a larger power grid has advantages, especially during an emergency. The microgrid can operate independently from the larger grid, so users can continue to receive power even if there is a power out. And it is the newest innovative energy mode to help ease your lives during these now common nor'easters. So if you're interested, make sure you contact the electrical utility company to get an installment in your nearest neighborhood. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Shilpa, again from the utility company, and I'm here to tell you more about underground power lines as an option for your home. So underground power lines might be the way of the future for coastal Connecticut. Today I'm going to explain to you how traditional overhead power lines work, how underground power lines are installed, as well as some benefits and disadvantages of underground power lines so that you can make the right decision. Well, overhead power lines pretty much work by generating the power at a power plant and then having it transfer to a step-up transformer, which then sends the power to transmission lines. So these lines are those heavy lines that you often see in the countryside, and these lines are on the tall metal frames that carry electric potentials of 765, 500, 345, 230, or 138 kilovolts. And because this power is so high, the current is so high, we have to use a step-down transformer in order to get it to a level that can be distributed to your home. So once it goes to the step-down transformer, it gets sent out into long power lines that connect to your home or business. For underground power lines, we have to dig a trench that's about 4 feet deep, and then we install 3 separate power cables within that trench, and they're encased in concrete. And these power cables will carry power of 345 kilovolts, 138 kilovolts, 69 kilovolts, and then we'll have the distribution cable. So these cables are encased in cross-linked polyethylene, which means that it's an insulating material, it's dielectric, and it helps to keep the current inside these cables, prevent it from leaking out, and it also helps to prevent from water damage and any damage from light forces that can act on the cables. So above ground, we have some ancillary structures, including vaults, which are large concrete boxes of sorts that they're not really visible above ground, but they are accessible by manhole, and they help to facilitate repairs and maintenance work on the underground power lines. We also have transition structures, which bridge that gap between the overhead power lines and the underground power lines. So they connect the insulating material of the overhead power lines to the underground power lines, conductor of the overhead power line to the solid conductor of the underground cable, and this helps to keep moisture out of the underground cable and also connects the overhead line to protect the underground line from lightning strikes and such, just to keep your power network more protected. So some benefits of underground power lines are you are prevented from losing power due to wind or rain, because wind events don't really affect underground power lines, and light rain events also do not affect them. Trees falling on power lines also don't affect your susceptibility to power outages, because again the power lines are underground. Some disadvantages would be cost. They cost about 10 to 20 times more. So for example, to fit an older suburban community with underground power lines, it would cost about $720,000 per mile. Flooding is also a problem, because again these power lines can get flooded if there's a heavy rain event. That's not unusual. There are still some ancillary structures that can be seen above ground, such as the transition structures. And it also takes more time to repair underground power lines, because you have to go in and find the actual leaks and figure out how to fix them. But this is basically the overview of underground power lines. So if you would like to get more information or have them installed for your neighborhood, be sure to contact Connecticut Utilities, because we are here for you.